Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We're just slowly getting going. Right now, we're making our way to Camp Dragonhead for Ladonia's Dragoon Quest.
And meanwhile, we're having a couple of chase scenes to liven things up.
They really like us. It's our adoring fans. Oh, look, there's another one. I'm sorry, we can't take autographs right now.
Nope. Nope.
Oh, that was a thumpy thump thump. Well, I hope everyone's day has been wonderful. It has been mostly kind of a lazy Sunday for us. It is no longer Saturday. It's COVID time, so yeah, time has no meaning for me anymore. All the days just kind of blur together. We were able to get Rylea up to level 70 on White Mage, which is awesome. Taylor will not be joining us this evening. They are feeling a bit tired and wiped out, and I don't blame them.
Rylea has how many different 80s now?
Yeah, way too many. Why do we have a blue bang
not
here?
enough, because... simply to die for how to use dies, apparently.
But that was given to us, like, at level 15. Like, over a year ago.
And this is a level 1. Alice would ask you to speak with a troubled patron. Well, we'll get dies out of it, that's for sure.
Oh, well, if it isn't Rena and Ladonia, just the adventurers I was hoping to see. Do you know the blacksmith Ingolf? He's quite an accomplished craftsman. In fact, anyone who's willing to deal with Verona is sure to have come across his creations. Oh, I know what this is for. This is so that you can dye your initial relic gear. It's always been a pleasure to have him as a regular here at the Seventh Heaven, but he's been quite irritable as of late, and particularly drowning in his cups besides. I fear his recent work, or perhaps a lack thereof, may have something to do with it. This may seem a bit trifling matter to someone as traveled as yourselves, but it would mean so much to me if you would speak with him. I cannot think of no one better to offer him a word or three of encouragement. Then we trot on over this direction. Yeah, he's looking pretty despondent. I mean, look at him.
Can't you see I'm thinking last off with you? Huh? Allison, did she? And I suppose she just happened to mention me contract with Verona, eh? I thought she'd be satisfied with me vintage gear. There was a time it practically flew off the shelves, bringing in ventures with tombstones by the bucket. But now... You damn divas are a fickle lot, and apparently none of you'll be caught dead in me stuff no more. Now I've got Rowena jumping down me throat, clamoring for something new. Something the realm ain't heretofore seen. One expects too bloody much, I tell you. But if I don't fill me contracts, you'll have thugs fitting me feet for lead boots. Only I pissed out bright ideas each dawn like I did me ale. Hold your horse birds. I know ye from somewhere. You're one of them ventures what started the bloody relic armor movement way back when, ain't ye? So I live and breathe. Relic armor? Us?
Well, not in these classes.
Tried as I might, and holy hells did I try. I wasn't quite able to recreate them masterworks. There's something about them, a certain quality even the great Ingolf weren't gonna match. I suppose one never truly can rival the classics, eh? Alice, you shy shrew. That's why you sent this one. He wanted her to remind me of the old days when armorcraft was about the armor and not else. Somewhere along the way, I reckon I got caught up in the hurly-burly and lost my way. You know, I reckon it's high time I got back to basics. Focus more on who'll be wearing me gear than the pretty tail on that Makoti selling me the parts. Really now. Might be then I can come up with something that'll satisfy old Rowena. Cheers, lass. So it's kind of you to stop by. And while you're here, how about I fix up your own set of relic gear? My assistant Kakalan here can augment each and every piece. Of course, that's assuming you can bring him the proper parts. I ain't running charity. Don't go forgetting your gear, neither.
Yep.
And all this augmentation stuff is now bypassed, isn't it?
Yes and no. This particular stuff, you need to effectively get your standard piece plus an augment piece, which you get off of a crafter, and that will give you a piece that is then dyeable. Note, once you do that, you can no longer put it in the armoire, you have to put it in the glamour chest.
But of course.
But if you really like the initial base set of class armor, that's how you get dyeable versions of it.
Huh.
And it's a little less mind tedious than trying to run memory
Oh, what isn't?
Miseria Extreme over and over and over again.
Now, I have another question.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little spoilerly for the audience, but what is it that Rowena has with drunk blacksmiths?
Good question! Then again, a lot of people do a lot of drinking in this game.
Yeah.
Haha,
She
dear,
does a good
I
job.
see what you did there.
But I noticed that Rowena really drives them to drink.
Yeah, she'd drive anyone to drink. I'm sorry. Rowena's a piece of work, and the people she hangs out with are
Wait,
pieces of work
turn
too.
back.
Hmm?
Turn around. I have hunt targets.
I know, I've been skipping mine.
They're here, I'm here. I'm killing them.
Okay, let's kill some hunt targets. They're my hunt targets too.
Even better. Two of 5.
2 of 6.
Whew. I thought the 5 was bad.
These guys are so scrawny, we might have to just put them out of their misery.
Yep. If we keep skipping the hunt targets, we'll never get the hunt targets done.
Yeah, I was just checking for Kyoto the other night, and he still, like, has half his hunts to do.
Yeah. Elia probably has a few to catch up on.
But congrats on getting 70 on White Mage. Now, I don't know how White Mage is going to change. We'll find that out coming soon, actually.
There's the Lancer 46 entry. I assume you need one more?
Yeah. Because they'll be...
Go find someone scraggly.
They'll be releasing the job trailer soon with the next live letter. And then everyone will both celebrate and bemoan what has become of their classes. The howls will be mighty.
And one more for Jenny in the west.
And there we go.
Very good. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled questing.
Yes, the wolves in this game are very gangly. The only ones that aren't are actually mounts or a couple boss mobs, which I don't want to say more than that because that would be spoilers. Oh look, bud puppies.
Yep.
And
Always.
they like us.
Always. Okay. Yeah, right. So you gonna go hide out in the igloo again?
I'm thinking maybe going and working on some of my pugilist monks while you're doing this. But first, we shall switch cameras! Dun dun dun.
Into the Dragon's Maw. Sir Alberic wears a solemn expression on his face. Ah, Ladonia. An urgent message arrived from Estinian in your absence. He bids you come at once to the Steel Vigil. It would seem Nidhogg is on the move, and rather sooner than we had anticipated. It appears you have not yet fully become master of the dragon within you, and yet we are racing against time. I fear we have no choice but to do battle to the best of your current abilities, and without the dragon mail I promised. Now let us away. Estinian must know the truth of Ferndale, lest he fall for the Great Worm's seduction.
I believe that it is pretty much all guys all the time on that quest, so...
Pretty much. Where am I going? Oh. Up there, right. Steel Vigil.
Yeah. The Steel Vigil.
Not a friendly place.
I kind of feel sorry for the Ishgardians. They put up all these forts and vigils, and as far as I know, every single vigil has fallen.
Yeah, of
Stone
course.
Vigil has fallen. Steel Vigil has fallen.
Of course, all the ones that are still standing are not plot important, so maybe? But yeah, they certainly have a bad track record.
It ain't a good one, that's for sure. Yeah, I know, Baron. Erdogan would be pulling his hair out right now. Oh no, that is actually plot important for later.
My.
That is one of the fragments of Dolomu.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's not flesh, that's crystal. Crystallized ether. Am I going to need to departy for this?
Yes, you will need to departy for this.
Kinda thought so. Yep.
Yeah, there's several places in the world that have these long, semicircular, flat gigantic pieces of Allegan technology sticking out of the ground. In fact, there's one right there. If you can see my little area. Right there.
Alberic, I have waited long for this day. You, who fancy yourself an Azure Dragoon, the man whose cause you have taken for your own, is a coward. He relinquished the power of the dragon of his own volition and watched as Ferndale burned. Do you not think it ironic that I was chosen as your dragoon? I, an orphan who has naught of value to protect in Nishgard. I suppose I must give thanks, for it is the eye that revealed to me the truth, a truth so damning as to undo a lifetime of trust. I loved you as a father, but I can ill forgive you for Ferndale. As I understand it, you've kept even the Archbishop in the dark regarding the missing eye. Do you mean to take your shame to your grave? But I waste my breath. Prepare yourself, old man, for I shall lay waste to all the things you hold dear, and once I'm finished with you, I shall do what no Azure Dragoon has succeeded in doing. I shall claim Nidhogg's head. Calm yourself, Estinian. Your rage renders you vulnerable to the dragon's influence. Adonia. In you, I thought I'd found kindred, someone beside whom I could fight the Great Worm. It is with a heavy heart that I relinquish that dream. Your affection for this coward has rendered you deaf to your own destiny. Very well. That we would one day cross lances was inevitable from the moment of our first meeting. As we shall now find out who is the Eye's true chosen. There can be only one. I am not cutting off his head. The Eye's true chosen, and you shall something. Stinian, stop this madness. Now that looked familiar. Dragon within you stirs. Ooh. Yeah, I did not want to be in that. Do we ever get that one? Sky Dragon dive?
You'll find out.
Power, I must have more power. Uh-oh, that's a dangerous thing to be saying.
Where are you? Back here. Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Now, this is not one of the more difficult 50 quests. Feeble creature, dost thou desire power? Not from you. Look to thine anger and to thy hatred. It is there that thou shalt find it. O mighty Nidhogg, Lord of Dragons! Grant unto me thy blood, that I might be granted the claws and fangs wherewith to rend thine enemies. Stinian, you should know better. If he grows one wing, I'm out of here. Donia, this is impossible. Cannot be. Forgive me, Estinian. I have failed you once again. I am fine, Ladonia. Somewhat shaken, but otherwise whole of body. Suffice it to say, I have much to reflect upon. Let us return to the observatorium. Shines with unbound radiance.
Yeah, just for the record, I seem to have gotten myself involved into a fate I don't know if I'm going to be able to complete.
Oops.
I've got like 5.5 minutes left on the clock.
You can do it.
But let's just say that my fists of fury are not being furious enough.
Oh dear.
He's not hurting me, but I'm not really hurting him either.
Do you need some fins of fury?
I need some fins of fury! Or a lance. A lance might work too.
Yeah, well, too bad. I'm busy.
What was that, dear? Yeah, a shotgun would be really good right about now.
Some days don't you just wish you had a shotgun?
Yes, and this is one of those days. I mean, not even Peeps is actually making a dent on this guy. Returning to,
Yep. To Alberic. When the being of darkness closed upon us, you appeared to me the spitting image of Haldrath the Dragon's Eye, just as he is depicted in the Holy Scriptures. I thought that mayhap the years had taken their toll on my mind, but behold, the soul of the dragon shines as it never did in all the years I bore it. It would seem you have achieved that which was thought impossible. You have awakened into the ability that none but the first Azure Dragoon possessed. Truly a momentous achievement. I can still scarce believe that you were able to summon the self-same Drakenmail worn by Haldrath. To think that it had been sealed within the soul crystal all this time. I've borne witness to many and more wonders over the years, yet none compares to you, my young dragoon. Could it be that you are... Mark not my mutterings. I am certain that it was your indomitable sense of justice that resonated with the spirit of the Azure Dragoon, prompting him to bestow the armor upon you. Yes, that is doubtless what happened. As the being of darkness faded, so too did Nidhogg's aura subside, and now his kind have ceased their stirring. Whether this was compelled by your awakening, I cannot say. I suspect we will learn the truth of it eventually. Justinian, my dear boy. Whatever becomes of him, he will ever be as a son to me. I pray that he is somewhere out there still, and that he has not wholly forgotten the great man he once was. When that darkness brushed against me, this whole same torrent of emotions swept over me as those I experienced 20 summers past. But there was something else besides. There was a voice, and it lamented the rift that divides dragons and men. You will come to comprehend of what I speak in due time. Till then, Ladonia, I pray that you will ever use your newfound strength in the name of justice. Dragonfire Dive. Jumping fire-based attack. And somehow I don't think it's fire-based anymore. They knocked out all the elemental stuff.
No, it's still fire-based.
Well, as in all the elemental resistances and such they used to have.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll do the burns, but that's not really elemental-based. Potency of 380 to target and all enemies nearby. Isn't it nice that these flames have IFF?
Oh my god, someone's come and join me! This might save me!
So where are you?
Mordona.
Dragoon Age 1. Yeah, I probably can't get there in time.
Seconds with 7% to go.
Yeah, I'm not going to make it in 35 seconds.
Seconds.
Nope.
We just did it.
Oh, very good.
Oh, stop that, you. Target rich environment.
And I think we have someone new in the audience.
Oh, we have someone new. Hello, Even. We are currently finishing. Ladonia just finished her Dragoon quest for level 50. And I was just kind of killing time waiting for them to finish up. And now that we're done there, we're off to the Waking Sands to pick up the quest for Wanderer's Palace.
Not quite yet.
Not quite yet?
No.
Oh, you still have gear.
I have a belly button to show.
Yes. I don't know why they did that with the female version of the Dragoon armor. It's like, come on, guys. It's like, stab me here, please.
I can tell you exactly, it's because Frazetta.
Sorry, Frazetta did not work on this game.
No, but he kind of set that sort of tone for a lot of artists.
This is very true.
Dang it.
You're around here somewhere. Ah, there you are. Now, is that the standard version or the upgraded
That's
version?
the standard.
Ah. Yeah. Belly button so.
Ah. Boy, I hadn't used the, Okay, I'm going to have a lot of stuff to sort out later. Helmet that you can't see. Belly button that you can see.
do actually like the Techo Blue upgrade set.
Yeah.
I wish it was dyeable too, but it's not.
Yeah. Is that everything? Is there a belt with this?
There should be
Yes,
a
there
belt.
is. Okay. That gets me up to 76. I'll sort out everything else later, including warrior gear.
So, Wanderer's Palace. How do we want to do this? Considering the time, do we want to do a challenge 2-man run?
Might take us the rest of the night.
Exactly.
Ah. You think we can do it 2-man at level and at gear level? Since our gear is only slightly higher than... Or is it actually below 50?
Wanderer's Palace is exactly at 50.
Okay, so our gear will only... It will be a little above since it won't be expecting the higher order gear that we get out of the chest, but that's it.
I think we can do it. We just have to be really good about the totems.
And, well, we certainly won't be doing it as Pugilist and Dragoon.
No. How do we want to rock, paper, scissors this? Because really the best set would be tank heal.
Probably let me heal, since I've got more white mage practice at the moment.
Okay, that means I will pally up in just a moment. Probably just after the zone shift, because everyone else is loving us.
Yes.
Bye, guys. And I probably switch.
Overhead extreme tight focus.
Oh no. Are they trying to solo that?
I sure hope not.
Oh,
if
God.
he is, he won't be for long.
Do we want to try and help?
Let's see, he is a 52. Oh, right, and... Yeah, listen to that music. Oh man, I need to rearrange this bar.
Now we need to be careful here. Wow, Vayne has got so much aggro I can't pull off something.
Okay, that should be right. Would you stop interrupting me when I'm trying to remember how I have my bar set up?
Come behind this rock a bit, if you can. We're like right on the border.
Okay, let's see here. Come on. No. And... Marshmallow, you need to help out.
Yeah, the big thing is we want to give you the extra ads as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, he's effectively on me, so go stand on the ast. Ow.
Indeed.
We so got this, though. Ah, that's the wrong camera. Yeah, that's the camera I want. Yeah, cameras are always fun to play with. Ha 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 ha.
finish. No, I'm not.
Oh no!
That got me?
Yeah, Vanna is like dumping so much healing that I can't compete with aggro.
Wow.
Okay, someone just rescue.
Yep, Vanna.
Ow.
That's go off, and uh-oh. I need to go res Vanna.
Tank privilege!
Okay, that takes care of that distraction.
Oh, this is getting exciting.
Just a little. Dragon's Breath.
30%. Out.
Ow.
In.
Can't. Dead.
In again. And it looks like some other tank got him. Because apparently I'm not a very good paladin.
Put on pink stance, you hit him a couple times, that usually does it.
Ow. Shoot, I didn't notice that.
Dragon's Voice.
Oh no! Keep it down!
Ram's Voice.
Ah!
Ow. That nearly. Oh, no, there goes the initial person. Or, no, someone else. I guess Vanna's the initial person. They're still up. We're not gonna get XP for this, are we?
No.
Dragon's Breath.
Not unless Vanna notices and res ones of us. Pooh, we wanted to help.
We did help Dragon's Breath. Now you'll get XP. Burp. Dragon's Voice. I think a Chocobo is tanking now.
Yes, it is.
Ram's Breath. Doing a decent job.
I think the other people who joined failed.
Either that or they're all down. I see 2 corpses.
And I see Vanna next to me.
Yeah. I think everyone died. Ram's Voice.
Oh, this is burn up. Yes.
I did get XP because there's a fate, and when the going gets tough. Good show.
Oh, get other people up. Oh, that kind of hurt.
A little. And Venom got me. So, before we were so rudely interrupted.
Yes. Time to run! Well, we did it! I got a new minion. Did you get a minion?
Maybe?
A little infant imp. Hopes one day that he will rule the 7 hells, but for now, your backside will do. Gee,
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep.
And hopefully you got the achievement too, because he's actually
Yes,
listed as
yes I
GSC.
did.
I don't know what they were doing. I was using Provoke, and it would not. There's like, no, I want to chew on the healer.
He's no dummy.
It's like, what's the point of Provoke if you won't actually abide by it, you stupid lion-faced dragon serpent goat thing? I cannot tell you how much Thera and Irelia have nightmares of chimeras.
No. There's no nightmares for him. Not compared to Lupus.
Which, of course, is a giant crab.
Yes. Which they've failed to kill on several occasions.
Many, many occasions.
Every once in a while we figure, yeah, we can do this now, and no, we can't.
We keep trying.
Yeah. It's very trying.
So now we're off to the Waking Sands to deal with Palace of the Dead. Or no, not Palace of the Dead. We're dealing with
Yeah.
Wanderer's Palace.
That'd be very different.
Land of Stab Your Face Off.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Stabby, stabby.
They loves them some stabby.
Yeah, we won't be doing it here, but there's actually a lot of lore concerning Wanderer's Palace if you do the Scholar chain of quests.
Yes. And it was a very interesting chain.
Oh,
And
yeah.
occasionally hilarious.
Oh, hilarious. Well, there's some chains that get really amusing. I think when we hit Stormblood, you will be very amused by the warrior chain. Theron, of course, is this tall, lanky Ellison. And I initially started him with warrior because at the time he picked it up and picked up Marauder. You had to have Marauder in order to get Dragoon,
Yes.
because it was back when cross-classing was a thing. I kind of miss it, but I can also understand why they removed it, so I kind of go sniff, but it's an understandable sniff.
Yes.
But the first chain, which of course we featured here on the stream with Ladonia doing it in this time, it's all about harnessing your inner rage, which was never really Theron's thing.
Theron doesn't have much inner rage.
Oh, he has inner rage, but not to the extent that they go through it. And then he did the class quest for Heaven's Word, and it's like, okay, this is starting to make sense. And then he did for Stormblood, and he's like, I'm a warrior, I'll just deal with it. This is who I am. Hello, Aline. What would you like for us?
Trauma Queen. There's an impish, conspiratorial look about Aline. If her injuries allowed, she would sidle.
Heard we're in the same trade. You're in better shape than me, though. A mishap at Wanderer's Palace nearly did me in, but boy, was it worth it. The calamity drained nearly half the water from Bronze Lake, and there it was, an ancient temple to Oshkan. Why is it called the palace, then? Beats me. I just went in looking for treasure, me and my feller. It was like a dream. And that's what it was like. The water hadn't done a thing. There were gold-framed mirrors bright as the moon. We gazed pawns ourselves, draped in chains of pearls, dancing on the floors of marbles and malachite. Like a king and queen, me and my feller. A daring-do adventurer like yourselves wouldn't say no to a chance like that now, would ye? Tell you what, go down to the docks at West Camp at Camp Bronze Lake and talk to Abizal Charizai. Used to be born companion of mine. He'll ferry you to the palace. I don't know. I've got a funny feeling about this. What do you think?
I want to know what happened to her feller.
Yeah, we're gonna teleport this one.
Right then. Why? Because you have more money than Theron.
Well, not anymore, but for a while that was very true. Yay, Camp Bronze Lake. Hot springs of our dreams.
And nightmares.
That too.
Between Mamul Jaw and a certain goldsmith.
Okay, totally given. That Mamul Jaw is terrifying, so you know.
Ah, he's off on this side of the dock.
Hi, Abazai. Abazi?
You're one of Aline's, aren't you? That one's got a ghost in her attic, you know. Keeps sending over her other ventures to that damn place she calls a palace, thinking you're gonna bring her feller back. There's 7 of us that day, one of them her feller. My best friend was another. Soon as we walked in, a tonberry attacked. It was dark, and we couldn't get purchase on the floor, for it was covered in lake slime, then in blood. What more is there to say? Only Aline and I made it out by the grace of the 12. Everyone else is dead. Think I'd leave him behind? Leave my brother by another blood? If I hadn't seen what the Tonberry left? I saw no treasure there, only death. I've said my piece. You still want to see for yourself? That's your business. I'll ferry you there, and for my adventuring days are over, and I'm the boatman of this lake. She thinks they all live, you see. All 5 of them hiding from the Tonberry somewhere in the palace. She tried to flee the infirmary. She told folk about her friends needing rescuing. Then she got sly. Ah, poor lost Helene. These are 49s. Yeah, should be good. Piety. Piety sounds good.
So, we ready to do this?
Almost. That's right. That's all threes. Make sure it equips the correct ring. Okay.
And time for challenge. Dun dun dun.
Oh boy, yes.
Average item level at once is 45. I am currently at 71.
77.
And away we go. It's been a while since we've done a two-man like this. This will be fun.
Oh, good lord, yes. And as they've already said, yeah, this is Tonberry Central. And that's why the Scholar chain gets into it. You deal with the Tonberries quite a bit.
Stabby, stabby!
We don't seem to be the first adventurers in here.
I dare say we're not.
Oh, and Tonberries are hunt targets.
Ignore that, Tomberry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Adventurers. You can deal with that.
Tonberries! They stabbed me!
Yes, they did! Stabby, stabby! I'm going to pull these guys to a section that'll give you a holy workout.
Gee.
Well, we do kind of have to press it a little because we've got the big Tomberry we're racing.
Is he in this section?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh, that works beautifully. Yeah, those beetles don't have much health, so I knew we could take them out with a little spamming.
Right.
Yeah, there he started. Get me already. Thank you. Okay, pulling the buzzard into the next group. And I forgot how bad Tonberries hit.
Oh, now you think of that.
Oh, they're not that bad. Yeah, there's the patrolling Tonberry.
Yeah, thankfully he's slow. Unfortunately, so's our DPS.
Working on it. I really hope I get a sword upgrade in here.
That would be good. One down. Okay. Right. Gear grease.
want to skip the chest that's over here, because,
Yeah.
well, we could kind of go after it and then pull them into the next group after this group goes down. Oh god, there's... Okay, we're gonna have to raise this thing on.
Yeah. This surprises you?
Follow me! Crowley privilege!
Good.
Okay, he's going around the long way, but we're gonna have to pull this into the next group's kit. Thank you.
Should take care of a couple. Yep.
Get the door open.
There it is.
Okay, pulling them
It's
in.
the tonberry that it kind of thought it might be.
Yeah. There we go. And now he gives up. Yay!
Yes, because he can't fit through that door.
Well, that's his problem. Hello, Light Sui. Good to see you. We're clearing Wanderer's Palace for the first time on these girls, and we're doing it in challenge mode.
That's one way of putting it.
Oh, you did great. And here we get sneezed on.
You. But yeah, those tonberries are tough.
Well, they are tonberries. Stabby, stabby.
Okay. Yep.
Go boo. Ew! Sneezed on me again.
They do that. Come on. Nope. Nope. No.
person.
He's keeping me busy with the Asuna.
He's a go-boo. He sneezes on people.
Well, he does that, which is a poison, but he's also doing something that is basically a magic resistance down on you.
Oh, multi-flim! How wonderful. I wish I had a mask for this dungeon. Ow!
Not as much as you wish you had it for Amdapor.
Oh god, Antipore is like allergy and dust. I know it's just a computer, it can't hurt me, but every time I go
It
in
hurts
there,
you.
I can feel my skin starting to itch. And my sinus passage is closing up. It's just, wow.
Let me get this off. No.
It's being just full of goo, isn't
He goes to goo. Ah, jeez.
it? And there we go.
Oh, look. And a tutorial on Allegan tombstones.
Tombstones. I think this is the first tombstone drop we've ever had.
I guess it must be. Wow. Well, that's the start of a long and glorious tradition. Sepaki gloves. Nice rolls there. 3 and 11.
Oh, we can
Oh,
see
look,
how much
another
we care
Tonberry.
for the gear here. Here, Mr. Tomberry. Now, this part has no,
Yeah, this early part has no stalker, but it does have plenty of tonberries. Look out, they stab.
yeah, think? Yeah, you missed it earlier, live streaming. We were talking about Wanderer's Palace and how it actually has a lot of Tonberry lore connected to it for FF14 if you go down the scholar chain of class quests.
Which sadly we will not be doing, even though it's a very good and informative chain. I'll let you keep this up. Let me pick up this lantern oil before it catches fire.
Please do. We will be needing that.
Yes, yes we will.
There we go.
Oh, look, more gear grease.
Stabby, stabby. starting to wonder if I should put my macros for my camera shifts on the right side of my screen instead of on my left. Be a little easier to get to quicker. Fortunately, the UI here is extremely adjustable.
Yes. That is one thing it definitely has in its favor. Rested Nimian device.
You got this. Yeah, basically in ancient times there used to be 3 great cities in the world of Eorzea.